Welcome back to Country Style Living, or welcome if you are new. We're so glad you're here. I'm excited today because I'm sharing my no-fail homemade pie crust. Now, before you get intimidated and check out, know that this is no fail, can't mess it up. If I can do it, you can do it. It's so easy, it's customizable. So stick around and make a pie crust with me. Why would I make a homemade pie crust when you can buy one at the store that you just roll out? Well, don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against ready-made pie crust. Because this one is so easy. It only takes 3 ingredients that most of us have in our homes at all times. So if this is a last minute idea, something you want to make and have a pie crust, you can do it on a whim. It's cheap by using the ingredients that you have at home. And it's so yummy. It's perfect. For this best pie crust in a large bowl, we're going to combine the flour and salt. Add the shortening. And then you're going to incorporate the shortening into the flour salt mixture by putting salt on top of the shortening pieces, smushing them down, and then stirring until you are left with a very crumbly mixture like this. Next, it's time to pour in room temperature water and stir until you have a sticky dough. You want it to be a little bit sticky, and if it's a little bit too dry, which you don't see later as I'm messing with it, I do add a little bit more water to my hands because here you can see it's a little bit too crumbly, but you pour it out on the counter and you get that little bit more of water if you need it, and work it into a ball without overworking, and then split it into 2 separate ones. From here, you're going to wrap each one up with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours or overnight. Now truly starts the fun part. Honestly, this is not difficult. You will feel better once you complete your first pie crust. You'll see that it's very versatile and it's not fragile. So you want to start by spraying cooking spray on a pie plate of your choice. Doesn't matter what it's made out of, glass, aluminum, whatever. Be sure to spray the top, the rim, just in case you want to put some of your pie crust up on the top. And then all you're going to do is put flour out on a clean surface. And you don't want to be shy here with the flour. You want to get enough that you're going to be able to roll out your dough just a little larger than your pie plate. And the biggest thing is you don't want your dough to stick to the counter. So grab that rolling pin. This is my favorite part. This belonged to my mother-in-law, whom I didn't get to meet. She passed away before I met my husband, but it's a privilege to use it. I understand she was quite the cook in the kitchen. So you're going to take your dough straight out of the fridge. You're going to plop it down in the flour. Just kind of mash it in there on both sides. Make sure that your counter is good and covered. And at this point, you can pick up your pie plate over your dough to see how big you need to stretch it out. What you want to do is just, with a little bit of pressure, just slowly making sure it's not sticking, You want to go in both directions. You just want it to be even, and you want to keep going in every direction until all corners of the dough are the same thickness and that it's large enough to go over your pie plate. Run your hands over it just to make sure that it's the same consistent thickness, and then make sure that flour is really good around the edges because I'm about to roll it up and you don't want the edges to stick. Test out the size again, make sure you're big enough, and then this little trick is the easiest one that I found to keep from tearing your pie crust. This one's pretty tough, but if you make sure your edges are not sticking, you start at one end and you just roll it around the rolling pin. And what I do is throw that flour behind it. Of course, where I'm standing, I can't see whether it's sticking or not. So I throw that flour up there just for insurance. As you can see, it's not sticking at all. I didn't really have to do that. And then you have it rolled up, and then you can transport it to your pie plate. Move it around. See, it's pretty tough. It's not ripping at all. And then, oh, I need to adjust it a little bit. I've got it a little lopsided, so pick it up and move it if you need to, very carefully. Then you want to just take any excess. Here's the versatility here that I love. You can see that some little areas I've got a little bit. This is just going to happen. When you roll out pie crust, you can't get it perfectly the same size. So if there's a little extra in spots, just kind of pinch it off and put it in the spaces that need a little extra. And then I try to make sure that I have pie crust where the two handles kind of come out so that you've got a lot of extra flaky crust to eat. And guess what, y'all? That's it. Pat yourself on the back because you did it. So here's an example of our baked pie crust. Of course, this is with a pecan pie. Again, it's so simple, 3 ingredients, flaky, perfect consistency, and it's adaptable. You can sprinkle a little bit of savory seasonings down in the bottom before you make your recipe and bake it, or you can put sweet. You can sprinkle sugar and cinnamon and all of that in the bottom if you're making a sweet treat and you want to make the crust have a little bit more flavor. So easy, so adaptable. I love it. I think you will too. And I just enjoy doing it myself. Again, but the biggest thing is just having those ingredients at home, ready to go when I'm ready. All you need is that flour, your fat, like the shortening is what I use, and salt. Add a little water at the end and you're good to go. So thanks for hanging around with us today and learning how to make this easy, flaky, 3 ingredient pie crust that you're gonna love from my Grammy, from me to you. Have fun, y'all, and remember, always keep it country.